Hey everyone, it's me again, and I hope you're all doing well. So, this video is going to be somewhat a little bit hard to do. I've started and stopped it doing this many times. I've been toying with the idea of doing this or not. You see, I screwed up. And if I was going to do something like this, I wanted it to be not about making myself feel better by confessing, but I've seen other people doing this. Some have it just killed their channel altogether, while others they turn it into a learning experience. And when I have seen people do that or say that, I've always felt that that was a cop out, if you will. And then here I am finding myself on this side of the spectrum, and now I'm deciding what to do. You see, my entire purpose of this channel is to show you the student perspective and give you an honest perspective from the start up. And in that special video, I mentioned that if we see bad flying, we have to speak out and speak up. I just never expected that I would have to speak out about myself. One of the previous flights that I did, I screwed up, where I didn't know it at first, but I contacted Allentown Approach, and they told me that I had a deviation, and they gave me a phone number to call, which was not pleasant. I did not know what I had done wrong. And then I landed and I called Potomac Approach, and they told me that I had violated P40, and then it would be sent over to the FISDO in Baltimore to be investigated. Which is initially why I didn't say anything. It's because at first I didn't have anything to tell, and my experience is when anything is being investigated, you don't say anything until the investigation is over. And that's exactly what I did. I waited and waited. Nothing came through. And then I received this in the mail saying that I had to contact someone. And then, of all ironies, a big envelope from the FAA came up. I opened it, and it was the magazine for the FAA safety. And I was like, that's the irony of all ironies. So first of all, there isn't any particular video, but I will put everything that I have on the screen for you to see. So the flight to Martinsburg, we recently were doing my IFR classes, and they encourage us to like do VOR, go out and practice, fly the airways. We can't file IFR flight plans, but just go out, use the VOR navigation system, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to just go out and just try and do it. And so I planned the trip to Martinsburg using the VOR from Allentown to Lancaster. I switched from Lancaster to Martinsburg VOR at the switchover point. And Potomac, I was on flight following the entire time, and they asked me if I was familiar with the area, with the P40 area, which I told them I'm not. Now, I had assumed that they had told Martinsburg, the Delta class airport, that I was new to the area. I landed, everything was perfectly fine, they affected me around. Now, my experience with Delta airspaces is that when I've taken off from Lancaster or Danbury in Connecticut, they automatically asked if I wanted a handoff, or they just handed me off to Reading Approach. Danbury just handed me over to New York without even asking me. So I had assumed that when I was leaving Martinborough, if they wanted me to talk to someone, they would hand me over. That was my first mistake. So I took off, and I was going around. Well, I was trying to go around the P40. The Foreflight said I had avoided the area. I assumed that I avoided the area. But apparently I didn't. I violated the boundary. So after I landed, I opened up the track log, which is a little bit different from the actual map flight, and I looked over that area, and to my disbelief, yes, the line went through just the bottom. I tried to avoid it. They said they could see I tried to avoid it. But I violated it. But fortunately, the good point is it was a good day to violate it, because there was no TFR, so there was no jets issued. And yeah, I just, so, you know, I'm kicking myself over it because it was a stupid mistake. I didn't do good enough flight planning. I didn't prepare myself properly for it, I guess, because I was navigating solely by VOR and just using the Foreflight as situational awareness for traffic. I wasn't really looking at the map to see where I was going. You know, I was doing what I wanted to do, practice. It was a couple of weeks, at least a month before I got this. And it's actually pretty good. It just says that they realize it's, you know, I did file a NASA report over it. And there is a couple of areas where Foreflight could have been better with it. I said that, you know, they could have marked the area better. On the IFR maps, they didn't have the area highlighted as well as they did on the sectional. I didn't say that was an excuse, but I did say that would be something that I could improve on. So I emailed the inspector, and then he asked me to type up a narrative, so I did that, and I explained everything. And the fact that I was doing it by VR navigation seemed to impress them, because it was like, they said on the phone that they get like 50 of these a day. The P40 violation is like one of the most common that they get. It's always something to do with Foreflight. And with this 5G, it has impacted Foreflight. The GPS accuracy is not as reliable. And I've always said to people, even my friends, that you cannot rely on Foreflight for accurate navigation, because it's delayed. It can be up to 5-15 minutes delayed. And then I saw the video on Lewis the other day saying they wonder why people violate the Bravo airspace, and with Foreflight that shouldn't happen anymore. But the thing is, Foreflight is not accurate enough. You're supposed to only use it for navigation for VFR flight only. You cannot rely on Foreflight for navigation any other time. And even with the 5G, I flew yesterday, and the 5G impact around Allentown has made the GPS position lag on Foreflight. And I did file a report on that with Foreflight, and they said, but that's besides the point. But you know, they told me it was a good day to violate it. It was like, if like right now there's a TFR around it. If I violated it when that TFR was up, jets would have been scrambled. It would have been worse. But the fact that I was doing VOR navigation, it was like they were saying that they get like 50 of these a day, and like this was the first one in a while that I was using VOR navigation, and the Victor Airways Victor 39 that I was using goes right through the area, not the P40 area, but the restricted area. My mistake was not doing a good enough pre-flight, and two, assuming that Potomac approach told Martinborough that I was new, and then third, thinking that Martinborough would hand me off to Potomac if they wanted me to talk based on past defense. Assumptions is what was bad, assuming anything was bad. And I normally, like, religiously do flight following regardless, no matter what. And I guess I got carried away with, and well, I don't know if carried away is the right way to explain it, but it's just I know I was speechless with the flight, with what I was seeing outside the plane and stuff, but yeah, you have to, when you go through that area, you have to be on the radio talking to approach as you fly through it. I know that, and whatever reason I didn't, and no two ways about it. I screwed up. And then the caveat at the end of that, they explained that they said he's marking it down as compliant. He's talking to me. It's a genuine mistake. He told me to keep doing what I'm doing. You know, keep going through your stuff and studies. Explain it to, you know, they encourage that I tell my instructor, but this was on a personal flight out of the club, and I've been in the middle of changing instructions, so I haven't really had the time. But they said this won't go on any kind of record anywhere. No one's going to know about it unless I tell them. Maybe President Joe Biden and the administration would know federally, but other than that, no one's going to know about it. It's not going to be a public record. So that was where the decision started, that do I tell people or do I not tell people? And I don't know, it's awkward, this. I never expected to confess my sins to YouTube, you know, but it is a learning experience, and P40 is one of them, apparently the most common area of most common deviations. I'm not planning to make any other, and looking at the map and the sectional, I've seen that there was plenty of other options I could have done. I could have gone north and completely around P40. I didn't have to make it harder on myself, pardon me. But I was focused on doing going back the way I came, flying Victor 39, and it borders right on the edge of the P40. You can be within the margin of error on the Victor airway, but if you go left a little bit off the airway like I did, still within the margin of error of the airway, but you fly like P40 if you do. And that is something I did learn, is that knowing where you are and stuff like that, that is key. So you have to be extra confident. My experience with the Visto is like, yeah, they do want to work with you, not against you. Instantly, I never had a thought about being anything but honest to them. I screwed up. I know I did. Everything is on tape. Everything has been tracked via ADSB. There's just no point hiding it. There's no point trying to deceive anyone, because it's all out there. I mean, I know they can go look up the videos. They can do anything they want. I mean, it's the federal government. So all you got to do is admit your sins. You know, show that you're genuine, making a mistake, And this is never going to happen again, I promise. I'm never going to go anywhere without properly doing a better flight plan than I did. Like, I did do a Foreflight plan. I did do a weather brief. I did everything. I just didn't call up and talk to a person, which probably I should have done. And yeah, all the others. And definitely I mean, I'm in the aviation safety course right now. And right now, as I'm talking to you now, listening to all the things that I did wrong, I definitely see the chain of events, the causation. Any one of those things, if I stopped them, it would have avoided all of this. If I didn't assume that Potomac told Martinsburg, I would have caught him up and been on flight following. If I did a proper, flight plan, brief, I would have known the area better and knew what I was supposed to do better. If I didn't rely on I don't know. I didn't rely on Foreflight, but because when I was taken off from Martinsburg, my main focus was getting onto the Victor Airway, but the position and on the GPS, as well as where I was physically in space, was not where I actually was in the time and now, wasn't where Foreflight says I was. Foreflight said I was clear, I was on the airway, but in reality, in actual, I was left of the Victor Airway and I was actually inside of the P40 area. So you can't, I'm not relying on Foreflight for anything except traffic at the moment. I'm going to, trust it even more than I did before what the VOR is telling me and go by that, not what I think Foreflight is telling me. Because I know there is a delay. There is at least 1 to 5 minute delay that I'm seeing. Because going back to last night when I went flying, I had touched down at Allentown on 1-way-2-4, and Foreflight still showed me on the 3-mile final. That's quite a bit of a lag. So I definitely see where if one of those errors I made, if I caught them and stopped just one of them, it wouldn't have happened. And yes, I'm kicking myself over it. It's been a couple of weeks since this happened, and it's not that I wanted to try and hide this from anyone. I just wanted to make sure that the purpose of making this video from it wasn't just so I could feel better about myself, confessing. And if telling you actually does something other than learn from my mistakes, but a genuine attempt to say, yes, I screwed up. This could be you if you do what I did. This is how not to do it and how to avoid it, and avoid you getting one of these things in the mail. But I mean, I have to say that perhaps it's not everyone. I haven't met everyone at the bottom of Visdo, but the inspector, was genuinely, they asked you to email them. I emailed them. They asked me for a time that we could call. They had to reschedule because of the storms. We reschedule. They work with you if you work with them, and just this is a non-punitive action. They know it wasn't intentional. I didn't intentionally intend to violate the airspace. It was just an accident. And this goes back to the part on the radio thing that everyone makes mistakes. That's why there's an eraser on the end of pencils. I am just so annoyed at myself. This isn't like that's the point. Like, there's no one else to blame but me. I'm the pilot in command, so I've got to accept responsibility, and it's just that's so annoyed at myself for doing it, because I know with myself that I can do better and I expect better of myself. So I disappointed myself, and that's what's worse. That's what's killing me, because I have focused so hard on doing everything by the book, by the checklist, the safety program, and I got the endorsement for the safety award for 21. And then I go do something so stupid as this, and there's no one else to blame but me. And so I will put everything up if I haven't already, and so that's where I'm gonna end it. I didn't expect this to be a long video. It's already been, what, holy crap, it's 21 minutes. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna end this here. I guess I'll catch you later.